Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Niara Alexis, and like the title says, in this video today, I'll be going over with you how I transitioned from fully relaxed to natural. So if you haven't been here for a while, which I've seen a couple of comments where people are like, wait, the last time we talked, girl, you were just doing text lags, you weren't fully going to natural. You've missed like a whole season, not even a couple episodes, you've missed seasons of this show, okay? We are fully natural now. Check some of my recent wash days. You've been gone, you've missed a lot. So I'm gonna go through the story with you guys on how I transitioned, why I transitioned, because this was not my intent really to transition. Also, if you think my hair looks gorgeous, because I do, and you're gonna see me playing with it this whole video, it's because I'm using a bunch of the new Sacred styling products. I'm working with them, which is so crazy to say. Let's rewind it back. I have been relaxed since I was probably about in first grade. I'm not even blaming my mama. You know how everybody likes to be like, my mama did it? No, and my hair didn't immediately fall out either. My hair was actually flourishing while it was relaxed. A lot of people also say that too. Like they felt like their hair like looked the best and performed the best and like was it at its healthiest while they were relaxed. And I don't not believe them because my hair looked pretty good to the point where it was really thick and full and people thought I was natural and I wasn't until now. So I have been relaxed for a very long time. For a long time it was kept up in salons, and then once I graduated high school I had to learn how to do my hair myself, and I was doing all my hair myself, retouching it, all that type of stuff. So let's go back to 2024. So fall of 2024, let's say like September or so, I relaxed my hair for the first time coming out of braid season, which if you are new here, I wear protective styles all summer long just because I don't feel like dealing with my hair, and my hair is also very sensitive to the sun. It will break off in an instant. So I did my first relaxer after braid season, and I usually do not, well then, I didn't relax my hair very often when I relaxed it. I would just do it like every 3 to 4 months or so. So I had relaxed my hair in September, and then it was maybe like October, November-ish or something, and I noticed that I had 2 lines of demarcation in my hair. Now, if you have processed hair of any kind, you should know what this is, and if you don't, let's come into Niara Science Corner. I'm gonna educate you a little bit. With any processed hair, you have something that's called a line of demarcation. That's where your natural hair and your roots come out and it meets with your processed hair. So if you have colored hair, the line of demarcation is very, very obvious. But as you can see, like let's say someone's a blonde, but they're naturally a brunette, you see all their brown hair at the roots, and then you see the stopping point, which is like their blonde hair, which is their processed hair. That's the line of demarcation. For naturals, if you are chemically processing your hair or changing the texture and not the color, what is your line of demarcation is where your curly, kinky hair meets your processed, relaxed, or keratin, or whatever treatment you doing to your hair, where those two meet, okay? And a line of demarcation is a very, very susceptible to breakage. That's why a lot of times when you see people that have not kept up their relaxer, their hair starts to break off, and what you see is like a lot of like curly, thick roots, and then you see like thin, stringy ends. What's happening is their hair is breaking at that line of demarcation, and it's going to keep breaking the longer and longer it gets. And there really isn't a way to get rid of that line of demarcation without cutting it. Some people prefer to like grow out their relaxer. Some people decide to do a big chop because there isn't anything that's you're gonna do to make that hair that's straight on the end curl back up again. It's permanently changed. That's why they say, like, that's rude. I need you to stay on. That's why they say you need to really make up your mind if you're gonna relax your hair or not, because it will permanently change the texture of your hair. So now that we have that information in our pocket, I had multiple lines of demarcation. I had, let's say, a line of demarcation here. So I had curly roots, line of demarcation. It would be like a straight pocket of hair, and then I would have another line of demarcation, and I would have some more curly hair, and then another line of demarcation, and then the ends were straight. So I had about like 3 or 4 lines of demarcation like in my hair, and it was in all different areas on my hair. So I saw that, I started realizing that, and the way that that happens is when you are retouching your relaxer, let's say my line of demarcation is here. but I only put my relaxer and relax my roots to right here. So then I have this pocket of hair in between where like my roots are straight, and then this pocket of hair here is curly, and then my ends are straight. That's how that happens for like relaxed hair. It can maybe happen other ways, I don't know, but for me, that's how it was happening. I wasn't fully going down to like the line of where like my processed hair was, partially because I was probably scared to like over process or like overlap, because I have over processed my hair before, and that's a whole nother level of breakage. So I was trying to avoid breakage and ended up causing breakage. So once I saw that and realized what was happening to my hair, and this is like October, November-ish of 2024, I was like, you're gonna have to grow your hair out fully to get rid of this. I knew I wasn't a big chop girl. I ain't never been. So I was like, in order for you to fix this, you're gonna have to grow out your relaxer, grow your hair out to a point that you're comfortable with, cut it, and then relax your whole hair from root to end like a virgin relaxer, because you have too many lines of demarcation in here. And before you ask like, hey, couldn't you have just like applied relaxer on those parts? That, no. Maybe a professional could have, but I was not about to take that chance and like further damaging my hair. Because the other thing was like, say like on this like section of hair, like I had a line of demarcation here and here. Well, then on this like chunk of hair back here, I had a line of demarcation that was down here and here. It was impossible for me to like really know and see like where all those lines of demarcation was. I wasn't about to go through with that and do it. So the answer to that is no, in case you were wondering or your Twitter fingers was getting to typing. I was like, let's just do this. And a few of you kind of clocked it. You were like, why aren't you relaxing your hair again? Or when are you going to relax your hair again? And I was like, I don't know. We'll see. Da, da, da. And people were asking me like, are you going natural? Are you going natural? And then I had to address it finally. I was like, I am going natural, but I'm going to Texlax my hair again. So let's keep on going along. I was like, decided this in like October, November. So then December, January, February, March, April. And this whole time I'm still wearing my hair straight. I'm still relaxed, or not relaxing, but straightening my hair and doing my wash days every week. People ask me a lot, like, how did you get through that period when you were transitioning? Because it's a hard thing to do sometimes, depending on your hair type. I will say that your hair type does play a big role into how manageable it is for you. And I'm not here to tell anybody yay or nay, you should or should not. The biggest thing for me was making sure I was detangling with conditioner and deep conditioning my hair very, very often. And I'll show you, because I have this product right in front of me. One of the products that was like very instrumental in that was this Mizani Moisture Fusion Intense Moisturizing Mask. This product worked so well, because the thing that is hard about transitioning is like once your hair gets wet and you're trying to detangle, you're now fighting with two different textures. You're fighting with that super curly texture or kinky texture at the roots, and then your hair straight on the end. And it can get so tangled up and so matted. And I really understand your plight if you were going through that. The best thing I can tell you to do is find you a good conditioner that has lots of slip. So if you've tried that and you like that, keep going with it. If you haven't tried it, I would highly suggest it. I have other deep conditioners that I've liked before. I'll have a whole list of them linked down below for you guys. But that is the one that I was using the most when I was transitioning. Overall, it wasn't that difficult, to be honest, for me to transition. And I know that's not really what some people want to hear, I feel like, because I know it can be a very difficult task if you are, I'll say this, if you're not very familiar with your hair and if you haven't done your hair a lot, it can be very difficult. But let's just keep going with the story. I'm sorry for you. I know it's not really helpful, but like I understand what you're dealing with, but just condition as best as you can. So anyways, I went through the rest of silk press season, was straightening my hair, and then came time for braid season, and I put that hair up in braids and I let it be. I let it be. I do that to my hair every summer regardless. Quick side tip, a lot of people will ask me like, well, how do you wear your hair in the summertime? Why do you wear braids or protective styles in the summertime? Because like I said, my hair is very sensitive to the sun, but also it's hot, it's humid, it's sticky icky, it's raining at the drop of a dime. Like I don't have time in the summer to be worried about my hair. And not even that I don't have time in the summer, I just don't want to be. I could walk outside and it's like crazy, crazy humid. People ask me all the time, like, how do you deal with humidity? I don't. That's how I deal with it. A lot of things in life, actually. Craziness, drama, all that stuff. I don't. I remove myself from it a lot of the time. So that's what I do with that. It's unpredictable. I remove myself from it. I don't like to deal with it. So I put my hair up. I do twists. I do cornrows. I do braids. And all of these styles I've already showed you here on my YouTube. Check my Protective Styles playlist. I show you how I wash my hair with braids, all that type of stuff. Because you still have to care for your hair while it's in Protective Styles, but I don't leave my hair out like this in the summertime. Let's say like maybe July, I think I had taken my braids down, and I do this usually like once every summer where I take my hair down and I just give it a break from all Protective Styles and I'll just straighten my hair, right? And I was like, let's cosplay. Usually I'll do it for like a day or two, and then I'll go into like a cornrow or something that's not as like manipulative on the hair, if you will. But I was like, you know what? Let's cosplay. Let's see what it would be like if you were really a straight natural for real in the dead of summer. Because at this point, my hair had grown out, and maybe about like this much of it, maybe like 60 to 70% of it was natural. I was seeing the full curl pattern. It wasn't curling all the way to the end, but I could see a good chunk of my hair. And mind you, this is the most of my hair, like my natural hair, that I have ever seen in my life. I said my hair had been relaxed since I was probably like in first grade. I don't really have any recollection before that, like of my hair, like my curl pattern, what it was like, nothing. Anytime I washed my hair when I was younger, it was straight when it was wet because I was relaxed. And when the roots started getting puffy, I'd be like, hey girl, what's happening? And my mama would take me to the salon. I straightened it, and it was just big, honey. It was big. Like I was down in Texas or something. And it was hot and it was humid, and my hair was reverting. It was fluffy. It was giving very much like the puffy silk press, you know? But it was cute. I liked it. I was like, oh. So I wore it for that week, and then I put my hair up promptly, like in like, I don't know, another style after that. I don't know exactly which one it was. And I was wearing braids for the rest of the summer. So then it came time for me to take my braids out at the end of summer. So this is like end of August, early September of 2025. And a thought crossed my mind, okay? I had a little inkling. I was like, how mad would you be if you like decided like in a couple months you want to go natural and you're basically almost there? Maybe you should wait on relaxing your hair. Because I had all intentions of taking my hair out of my protective style or braids. Because a lot of people are like, that's not a protective style. Boo, whatever. I only say that because it really depends on how you're doing it and how you're caring for your hair. But we'll talk about that another day. So I had all intention of taking my hair in my braids and relaxing it right away, which I had done like every year. It was like the highlight of my year, honestly. And I was like, yeah, let's wait on that. I did my hair for like the first week, and it was very big. Okay, it was big. And it wasn't as sleek as I was used to. And I was like, girl, what's happening? And that was also because like I was doing the same techniques I had usually done when my hair was relaxed. And I kept doing that. I was like, you know what? You're going to give yourself until the end of 2025. And you're going to do your hair. And if you don't like it, then go ahead and relax it. But I was like, at least try and see what you're working with. So the first thing I did after like maybe a week or two is I cut off the rest of my relaxed hair. My hair had grown out to a point where I was like, okay, I can cut the rest of this off. Because this is what I'll also tell you. If you are transitioning and you're waiting for your hair to get, let's say like to my length right now, but you have about this much of relaxed ends, cut them off. Cut them off today. I promise you, you are going to have such an easier time dealing with your hair when you get rid of those two textures. And it's going to look so much better. I promise you. The minute I cut off those relaxed ends, my hair was looking A+. And I could see my hair curling all the way to the end. I was ecstatic. I loved it. And it was kind of at that point that I knew, I was like, I'm not relaxing my hair again. Now let me say this, because I've gotten a few comments here and on TikTok, maybe some on Instagram too, of people saying that now that I am natural, I talk down on relaxed hair. And I just want to say that could not be the furthest thing from the truth, because I was relaxed for almost all of my life. I understand why someone would relax their hair. It's easier to, excuse you, it's easier to manage. It's very predictable, especially if you live in a hot or humid climate. I definitely understand that. You don't have to have as much technique and skill either to do relaxed hair, in the sense that like your hair is already pretty straight. You don't have to do as much manipulation to get your hair to be straight if that's how you like to wear it. There are so many reasons why someone will relax their hair, and I do not look down on anybody for doing that. My motto here, and it has been from the beginning of time, is do whatever works for you. I might say it in a cute way sometimes when you're getting cute with me, but I mean that sincerely, in the sense of like, what you eat don't make me, you know that saying? I don't care. Do whatever works for you. So if you relaxing your hair is what still makes you happy and you like it, go right ahead. But I'm sharing my experience because there has been so many people that have asked me like, how did you transition? Why did you transition? I'm thinking of transitioning. I don't know if I should. I don't know how to go about it. So that's why I'm sharing. And I'm not sharing in a sense of like, I think my hair is so much better now. Now, do I think my hair is so much better now? Yeah, I do. I do feel like my hair is better now. I feel like it's fuller, it's thicker, it's stronger. Do I still experience like breakage and stuff? Yeah, I heat style my hair every single week. I don't think I would be like, oh, I'm not experiencing breakage or anything like that if I like stopped wearing my hair straight. Like if I wasn't a straight natural, if I was like a curly natural and only wore curly styles and like coated my hair and sealed my ends every day, my hair would probably be down to my tailbone by now, okay? And a lot of people ask me about that too. And sometimes they're doing it real cute. Like I said, they'll ask me like, well, your hair always seems to be the same length. Well, one thing is I do straighten my hair every week and put heat on it. So that does contribute to a certain amount of breakage, which I'm okay with because honestly, I like my hair at this length. Has it been longer? Yes. And you guys have seen it. If you've been around, you've seen it get there. And a lot of people were like raving when it was that length. And I think I do want to get it back to that length. But moral of the story is everyone's hair does grow. It's just like length retention, but also it's really hard for me to make it through the awkward phase. The other thing too that like I saw the biggest difference of is like when my hair is wet. Obviously, when I see my curls now, I love them. I think they're so cute. So many of you have asked me, will I do a braid out or a twist out? Maybe. I don't know. The only reason why I say maybe is because that is a whole nother beast to tackle. Like when it comes to like styling your hair and figuring it out. Styling my hair this past fall, like there were moments where I was like, I am going to go back to relax. I for sure had those moments because I was like, it's not doing what I wanted to do. It certainly wasn't looking like this. I had a lot of moments with you guys where I was telling you my hair was churchy. And people would ask me, some people I feel like were offended. You shouldn't be. And some people would ask me like, what do you mean by churchy? And the best analogy I can give you is just imagine the deaconess board and the stewardess board came together and they opened up a beauty salon in the church basement and you could come and get free press and curls before a service started. And they're gonna put the little white lace thing on top. And I'm not talking about nobody because my mama was stewardess, my grandmama was stewardess. Like hell, if I still went to our family church, I would be on a stewardess board as well. Somebody would have signed me up for it the same way they did my mama, and I would have no idea, and I would be on a stewardess board. The thing that I like had a epiphany of, and I realized like maybe in like, I don't know, December, is I was still styling my hair or still using the same techniques as if I was relaxed. I didn't change anything about my routine. I didn't change how I blow dried my hair, how I styled my hair. I didn't change the heat or nothing. I didn't change anything about my hair. And I was expecting it to look exactly the same. And let me just tell you, if you are going from relaxed to natural, you're gonna have to change your routine up. Maybe you need to apply a little bit more heat. Maybe you need to like update your blow dry routine, which for me, that was the key thing. If you are in that same state where you're like, I don't know, I think I'm just gonna relax my hair again, try changing something up if you haven't already. Try changing something up, okay? And then once I did that, we're Gucci. We're Gucci. And I also cut my hair. I was at an awkward length. So like my hair was churchy and it was like at an awkward length. I just hated it. So I cut my hair. I switched up my routine. We've been happy as pie ever since. And even right now, like I think like me styling my hair like this now, like I had tried to style my hair like this before, but I couldn't get it to look how I wanted to because I hadn't changed up my routine. And now I can. So that's how I transitioned. I do want to say a special thank you to those of you that were not rude and judgmental and you were just like, girl, whatever you do, I'm here for it. Because even when I was relaxed, I had so many people that were like, I'm natural, but I still watch your channel and I get so many tips. And there were so many people that when I said I was actually going natural that were so mean and ugly to me. And I'm not talking about your outer appearance. You know what ugly means if you're from the South. They were so mean and ugly to me about me wanting to transition to natural. People saying like, girl, I'm not watching you no more because you're not even relaxed anymore. Okay, well then, I'm sorry. But there were so many of you that were so nice and was like, whatever your journey or transition is going to be, whether you go back or you don't, or you are in the middle and you change your mind a million times, I still like your content and I still want to watch it. Big shout out to y'all. I appreciate it because it made me feel better. I will have a bunch of links down below for suggestions for hair products, specifically those conditioners I talked about. Thank you guys so much for watching and coming along for this hair journey, and I will see you next time.